So when I came out in 2011, I was like, yo, man, you know. When I walked out of that door, I never even turned around to see what the prison looked like.
You didn't want to see it, right?
I ain't even turning around.
You did the George Jefferson walk,
man,
right out?
I kept walking, man. I ain't even turning around. I said, yo, man, take me to get a large cheese pizza and a dozen donuts right now.
Right now. Did you ever carry a gun after that? Because I know if you live in Virginia, you could allow to carry guns. So are you still...
No, I don't live, no.
You never went back down there? I know you don't live there. You never? No. So would you ever carry a gun again?
I haven't. I'm not saying that I wouldn't.
Right. But now it's different now. Would you, if you can, would you?
Something I never really thought about. You know, after all of that, it's just stress-free.
So you're not one of those persons that feel that. What do you feel about the gun rights in the U.S.?
I really don't really follow the gun laws, you know, anymore. I just know in certain states there's a lot more leniency than, you know, being here in New Jersey and New York.
New York.
It's just two of the toughest places.
Now that you've been issued a felon, and is it hard for you to get someplace to to live, or did you have any problems to live?
Man, it was so. When I left that place in 2011, man, I jumped on a private jet, and I went home in Florida to my beautiful home, and it just changed like so quick. You're like, wow. I just left jail, and now here I am sitting outside by the water at my own house. And you're like extremely blessed, man.
So you were blessed. You didn't have to worry about finding a place to live or anything like that. Let me get a new house.
Man,
everything was situated.
When I went in, when I came out, everything was exactly the same. It was like I had never left.
Jason Williams, Jason Williams that played for the Nets, he said he couldn't rent an apartment once he got out. After he shot the chauffeur, the driver that day, he couldn't get anything.
Well, why didn't you just, once you started reaching the problems of trying to rent something, why not just buy a condo or buy a house or something like that at that point?
You can't, Vlad. Homeowners Association, HOA, they were worse than renting. I go over there and want to buy something, and the first thing they say is, we don't want him here. Hell, they wouldn't give Tim Tebow a place, right? I ended up getting a place in that building, Tim Tebow didn't. And Tim Tebow just loves Jesus, right? And I couldn't get a place, and I'm a convicted felon. So the Homeowners Association, even now, where I live in Florida, I had to go between the HOA and beg for mercy 18 years later, right?
Yeah.
And it's nothing about a DWI. It's about what happened 18 years ago.
Yeah, I had these homes I owned. So there was no need. I'm still in my house. I'm still in my house here in Jersey and in South Florida. It was just, when I left, everybody came together and just made sure everything was running smooth, and I didn't have to move or anything. It was just, I came home, I signed with the Jets.
Who am I playing for now, right?
Yeah,
so
it was.
Did you know you were going to the Jets while you were in, or when you came home?
I was on my way to San Francisco.
For the 49ers?
Yeah.
When you came home?
Yep, I came home. I went and saw the Giants. I jumped on the plane and I went to Pittsburgh. From Pittsburgh, I went from there to San Francisco.
What kind of shape were you in when you came home?
I was in phenomenal shape.
Being in jail worked out a lot?
All I did was work out every day.
And kept yourself in shape, running, working out?
So, yeah, I think I got out June 11th. I think I signed with the Jets maybe 2 weeks after that. And all in 1 month, all that happened, and I'm back on the football field. Couldn't be happier, man.
I know you signed a 1-year deal, $3 million
guaranteed. I wanted to go to San Francisco.
Jets offered you more?
No, San Francisco did. John Harbaugh was the coach.
So what made that decision to go to Jets?
Because I had just came home, and I'm just like, man, I got to get up. I got to move my family all the way from New Jersey to San Francisco. The kids are getting ready to go back to school, and my wife was working in New Jersey. She would have to quit her job and it was too much. I hadn't been home a whole month yet.
Right.
I came home. I was going on these trips to see the teams, and then I signed a deal. And it was like I just couldn't come home and just uproot my family and move away to the West Coast just for 1 year. So I'm saying to myself, I'm like, hey man, even with the state tax in California, the money that they're giving me, I'm gonna have to pay it anyway in taxes. So I might as well just stay here in Jersey. I don't gotta live out of my house. I'm 20 minutes from work from going from here to Morristown. It just made more sense for me to stay here.
But you back, like, it seems like you're back now still in the city that, you know, try to just...
Man, that didn't bother me at all, man. You know, I'm going to go out there and play football and do what I do. That's me being back here was the best thing I ever did, was coming back. I mean, what am I running to? Everybody knows me or what happened to me. I made a decision based off of, you know.
But being back, like, you coming out and you going right back to the Jets, it seemed like you still, you know, New York City, the city that tried to take you down. Like, you didn't feel any type of way?
That didn't really bother me at all. You know, I was making the decision based off of, you know, where I was living and not having to uproot my family from Jersey to moving way to the West Coast. Yeah, it was more money. I mean, the average person, hey, you know what? I'm making more money. I'm gone. But that wasn't important to me. You know, at that time, it's like, what's the best decision for me and my family, you know, right now? And on top of that, I mean, it didn't matter where I was going to be playing at. I could still run up and down the field and catch the football. I mean, I led the team in touchdowns that year. I hadn't played in 2 years. So it don't matter where you're at. You know, we got a saying, I mean, it don't matter where you're at or where you're from. If you're good, they're going to find you.
That's true. You went back to the Steelers for a second stint. Why go to the Steelers now and not resign with the Jets?
So I went back for 2012 and 13. And
I was like, yes.
And it just, you know, just kind of made sense to me to, you know what, I'm going to go back to kind of finish what I started. Because I really didn't get that closure. Because, like, I was with Roethlisberger, 2 weeks ago? And the Steelers played here. And, you know, like, we're grown men with, you know, kids and families and stuff now. And, like, we were making decisions off of impulse and what we thought was just best for us, you know, during those times. Like, we were kids, man. You know, you're talking about 22, 23 years old, and at that time, your only mindset is just ball, get a bag, get to the top, and, you know, do what you got to do. And, you know, as you get older and you see the guys that you played with, your brothers, and everybody is, you know, all pros and Pro Bowls and went on to win Super Bowls and, you know, done so many great things, you know, in their life and in their careers. And, you know, I was with them, and it's just like, man, could you imagine what it have been like if we would have just played together for all those years? And it would have been something epic and something special, like barring injury and being healthy. Because you didn't really, you know, he was a rookie, you know, you really didn't understand. We went 15-1, and I was at a point to where, you know, I wanted more, you know, from, you know, the organization on a performance level. And I felt like I wasn't getting it. And I just kind of made a decision based off of that. It had nothing to do with anybody. And, you know, you look at it now, and it's like, you know, we're grown, and, you know, Ben is, you know, on his back nine, so to speak, in his career. And to just sit down and just have a conversation as grown men and how much respect you have for each other.
You and Ben had a great relationship to everything?
Yeah, always.
So all that he was a racist and everything, you never saw that? That's
totally
bullshit.
Fucking ridiculous.
Right.
It's totally fucking ridiculous that somebody would say that.
Ben or Eli? Your career, with your career, who would you rather your whole career?
Well, I really can't say that because obviously I came here, I won a Super Bowl with E.
Right.
I mean, that'll never be taken away from us.
Right. You didn't win one with Ben, so you don't know.
I didn't been one with Ben, but our relationship is that of a Super Bowl, connection or the way that we are towards each other.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why I kind of felt it was good for me to, to go back and to have that closure with myself and the team and the organization. And my last game was 2012, 2013. And on the last possession of the game, the last play, like the third quarter going in, I catch a touchdown. And I take my bow, and I'm like,
That was it.
That's it, man. Your last play for 13 years, and you score a touchdown. You know what I'm saying? I can close this chapter
right now, right?
It's time to move on.
Yeah. So after football, I was thinking about what you said about what your mom's told you. It's because of you. If you give them a chance, I never heard this before, but you didn't taxes on wire transfer. You were like the first one to be like indicted on that. I've never heard that before.
Bullshit, these people, man, they will try to do anything to I don't know, man. This was an electric payment that was supposed to go through, like my checking account or whatever. It went through a savings account, difference account. Like the number that was down was incorrect, and it's like, what? And then on top of that, the state owed me more money than I owed them.
Wow. They were trying to send you to prison again for this.
They was.
Yeah.
They was. For 34 grand.
And how did you feel about that? Like, get the fuck out of here.
I was like, yo, let me pay these people, man, and get out y'all way, man. These people are out of their mind, man. $34,000 trying to send me back to jail. I'm like, yo, come on, man.
You have a close
real, man.
a close relationship with Antonio Brown. How do you feel about his situation?
I just want to get back on the field, man.
You want him to get back on the football field, right?
That's
you heard his music?
That's the only thing that's gonna save him.
Did you hear his music?
I don't want to listen to it.
That's not bad. I played on the show. Yeah, that's not bad.
Yeah,
Whole lot of money.
I talked to him last week, but
yeah,
I don't really get caught up in all the crazy and shit that's going on because I mean he's like a brother to me, man.
So you talked to him a lot.
I played with him for 2 years, and I know what kind of person he is, but obviously, a lot of shit that's going on that you hope he can, kind of, stay on the level and just get back to doing what he loves. I think that's a result. What's going on with him now is just a result of him not being able to do what he loves to do.
A while ago, Vlad had Warren Sapp on there, and Warren Sapp that said that OBJ, Odell Beckham Jr., was not that great.
On the Rappaport podcast, he asked about a few other NFL players. You said Odell Beckham Jr. isn't great.
No.
You still agree with that?
What makes him great? I beg anybody to show me the greatness in him.
What was hold on a second, the deal that he signed?
Oh, you just want the money.
Well, he signed
The money makes you great?
No, it doesn't.
I'm sorry, then Jamarcus Russell was great as hell when he got his $30 million in, right?
Mm-hmm.
Please.
Well, he signed a 5-year, $95 million deal with the New York Giants.
Okay, and what's his numbers this year? Is he playing great? Or the Giants playing great? Is there anything in New York that's great other than Sam Darnold right now that someone would say great?
Do you agree with them? How do you feel about those comments?
I think he's a great talent. I think he's a phenomenal talent, great player. Up to this point, is he great? I wouldn't say he's great.
He has the potential of being great?
Absolutely.
Right.
He has everything that a wide receiver could ever possibly want from a running route standpoint, speed, hands, just everything you could want as a wide receiver. But for right now, I mean, you can't say he's great because he's been in the league 5 years maybe. Greatness comes with over time.
Mm-hmm.
You just don't play 1 or 2 years and
you're great.
You're great.
Right.
It comes with, consistency, being able to supersede what you've done the year before, And I think that's one of the things that a lot of the young players are lacking these days is that, how can I be better than I was last year? And that's one of the things that we're losing as far as, young, gifted, talented players going on to being, Randy Mosses and all these, great receivers that the predecessors that come before them because, there was no social media. There was no Twitter. There was no, wasn't even a damn camera phone out.
Right.
When I was playing, or Instagram or any of that. All you wanted to do was be the best at your craft because nothing else really mattered. Because there weren't really that many avenues for us to, I came into the game in 2000. That was 20 years ago. There weren't really that many avenues.
That's crazy.
Contractual wise for us to make money outside of playing. So your number one focus and priority was, this is football. It's not going to be here forever. I got to go out and try to maximize everything that I can right now and I just want to be the best at what I do. The only way for me to get to where I want to be is to be great at what I do. And you can't just do it in 1 or 2 years.
Man, I could see you talking to these young guys and letting them know now, man.
Shit, man, they have no idea.
Thank you, man. Appreciate you, man.
Cool, man. Appreciate it. Yeah.